One stormy night, Melissa returned to her cottage. It was raining cats and dogs outside while lightning flashed and the thunderclaps boomed a few times. Inside the cottage, Melissa was sad and all alone while seated at her workbench right next to the window. Melissa was thinking about revenge. She was dreaming up of an evil plan of how to make Damien to pay the ultimate price for what he did to her. When she opened her eyes on her workbench, she saw a wood block with a wood carving knife and a set of paints and paintbrushes right in front of her. That gave her an idea to get revenge against Damien. She was thinking about making something really scary. So she reached over and grabbed a block of wood and a wood carving knife. She propped up the wood block and began to carve. When she finished carving, she made it into a girl-like figure. It was time to paint, so she put away the knife and grabbed herself a paintbrush and a palette of paint colors. She began to paint. She started painting her hair hot pink and her head. Then she painted the body and dress light pink. Then she painted the feet and high heel shoes. And then finally she painted the eyebrows and her eyes, making her pupil as purple as the amethyst. When finished painting, Melissa was thrilled to see that. Her finished masterpiece was pretty and pink, but mouthless, but that's what the masterpiece looked very scary. Melissa took the finished carved and painted voodoo doll to her potion room. She prepared the cauldron and built a fire. The cauldron was surrounded by stones and pebbles all neatly lined up and shaped as a pagan. When the cauldron was all heated up, Melissa put in 3 important ingredients to bring her carved voodoo doll of a girl to life. Firstly, she tossed in a bottle of evil spirits, and poof, the potion went as it began to boil. Secondly, she then tossed a bottle of magic powers. As the second ingredient dropped into the cauldron, shazam, it went. It was combining and boiling with the other activating ingredient together. The boiling liquid in the cauldron turned green. Thirdly, she put in the final ingredient of the potion, which it was Mouthless Fear. As the third and final potion was dropped in, kerpow! It exploded loudly and dramatically. It was swirling in with the other boiling ingredients. The liquid turned hot pink and was ready to activate something. Finally, Melissa took the hand-carved painted voodoo doll of a girl, and when she dropped the voodoo doll into the cauldron, bam, it went! The bedazzling sparkles glimmered up from the flames beneath, as the boiling liquid in the cauldron turned even more pink. Then the electrifying ball magically appeared and began to expand. When the electrifying ball was fully expanded, a life-size, full-bodied figure of a girl was magically appeared. The electrifying ball faded away and the bedazzling shimmers died out. After the magical activation had completed, the mouthless girl finally opened her eyes. She is alive! Melissa bellowed with glee as she celebrated for success. The mouthless girl is born! Melissa gleefully knelt down and told the mouthless girl, "Come to mommy, my little sweetie pie baby." Melissa happily floated down towards Melissa, and they both hugged each other as they were to be mother and daughter. Melissa thought up of a name for the mouthless girl and told her, "I shall call you Miss Mouth." The mouthless girl liked the name, and she was very happy with that. Melissa and Miss Mouth hugged each other more. It was the happiest moment ever to be in Melissa's life when she became the mother and when she had her first daughter as her first child. The next fateful night, Melissa returned to Damien's castle. It was time for her revenge. She promptly walked into the castle. In the castle, when she entered the dining room, there was Damien, seated at the dining room table having red wine still with his witchy girlfriend named Isabella. At the table, Isabella laughed at Damien's jokes as Damien was still telling her how crazier Melissa was even becoming. Melissa had had it of Damien mocking her and betraying her as she was standing behind them and listening to them. Melissa walked up to the table of two lovers and politely greeted them. "Good evening, Damien. Good evening, Isabella." Melissa?" Damien asked with wandering eyes. "What brings you back here? I thought you and I are finished." Melissa cleared her throat and began. "I have happy news for you, Damien. The happy news is that you have a new daughter." Damien was surprised to hear the news and interrupted her. Whoa, Melissa. I have a new daughter? What on earth are you talking about?" The Mouthless Girl magically appeared as Damien and Isabella stared at her in disbelief. "This is our new daughter, Damien," Melissa explained. "Her name was Miss Mouse, and I want you to meet our firstborn child." "What?" Damien said in disbelief. "That's impossible. How am I the father of the Mouthless Girl?" He then turned to Isabella and told her, "Don't listen to her. She's crazy and full of it." Isabella glared at him and began storming off the dining room table. "You are a liar, Damien. I should have known better. You lied to me about that you didn't have any children before you met me." Damien jumped out of his seat and followed after her. "Isabella, wait!" As soon as Damien ran after Isabella out the dining room, Melissa commanded Miss Mouth, "After him." The Mouthless Girl complied and began chasing after Damien. While unaware that the Mouthless Girl was after Damien, Damien ran downstairs after Isabella. "Isabella, please, let me explain." When the Mouthless Girl floated at the top of the steep staircase, she magically vanished without a trace. When Isabella walked out to the exit front door of the castle and vanished, Damien was still desperately after her, and just before Damien was about to leave the castle to go after her, there stood all of a sudden the Mouthless Girl magically appeared and blocked Damien's way to the front door. Damien became very frightened to see her. Miss Mouth then magically changed herself into Damien, but mouthless, as if she got his soul. Damien screamed in bloody horror and ran away from her to find another way to escape from the castle. She then changed back to her normal self. Then Melissa magically appeared right in front of her. She then commanded her, "Destroy him." Miss Mouth formed a huge fireball with her palms as she being complied. She then released the fireball to begin the destruction. There were explosions all around the castle, but Damien flew out of the window with his magic broom to escape. The castle was literally destroyed and burned to the ground. Both Damien and Isabella was never seen again since they left. Miss Mouth and Melissa magically appeared and stood on top of the castle ruins. Both Miss Mouth and Melissa hugged each other as for their achievement. "Good job, my daughter. Good job." Melissa praised her. "Let's go home now." Then they both magically vanished. Back at the cottage, the storm was over. The night sky was cleared up with a shining full moon. Melissa and Miss Mouth magically appeared on the leafless dead tree of their front yard. They were surprised to see their cottage was on fire. In front of that, there was also a huge crowd of angry people yelling, carrying signs, torches, and tritons. A crowd of rioting, angry people were protesting about witchcraft and why witchcraft must be banned and outlawed. One of the protesters noticed Melissa and Miss Mouth on the dead tree, pointed out at them and shouted, "There they are! They're on that tree!" When the protesters saw Melissa and Miss Mouth, they began throwing rocks at them. Just before the rocks were about to hit them, both Melissa and Miss Mouth magically disappeared without a trace. In the faraway overlooking highlands, Melissa and Miss Mouth found a cave to live and settle in, where no one would ever find them. They were devastated to see their cottage being burned to the ground, and the witchcraft being forbidden and outlawed. Melissa told Miss Mouth to never ever leave the cave, and Miss Mouth agreed and obeyed her. Alone, Miss Mouth sadly looked over the big city. She dreamed of going there, but she was forbidden to go as being told by her mother. And if she disobeyed by leaving the cave, she would be destroyed by her mother. Miss Mouth would not give up on her dreams. She would hopefully someday, however, escape, have more freedom, and discover the real world around her.